Okay, so we're moving along now. We've solved in several different ways. There are some other algebra features that I think might be helpful here. First of all, to factor and expand, those are little things. I'm not going to spend a lot of time and do every problem. I'll just do one factoring and one expanding. But if you look at your graphing calculator, some people are very distracted by lots of mess on the screen. There's nothing wrong with it because one of the benefits of having that lots of mess is that you can use the arrow up key and kind of, oh, I need to do the same thing as I did earlier. I can use the commands and hit enter, for example, and it grabs whatever it highlighted and puts in the active field down here. So for example, if I wanted these guys here, hit enter, they all show up in the active field exactly as it stands down there. Now, I don't want that. It's messy and I may want to just clean it up a little bit. The cleanup is in F6. So here it says F6. F6 is over F1. So hit the blue button and F1. And we're going to start a new problem. So click new problem. Oh, I messed up. I put it on the end of this. I'm going to just clear the command there and hit new problem, choice number 2, and then enter. And you see how it just cleans up the screen for you. Now, it's a preference thing. Sometimes you want to do that, sometimes you don't. Now, I don't have any of the functions I had before stored. They're all gone. So if I need those functions later on, I will have to re-enter them. So it just kind of depends on whether I need those functions again or not, if you want to clean up the screen. I know that I'm not going to need those functions again, so therefore I'm just cleaning up the screen right now. The factoring, by the way, this is something that you wish you had in Algebra 2, but look, all you do is go into, it's an algebra feature, you go into and factor, choice number 2, like that. And you just type it in as is, 2x raised to the second minus 5x minus 12, and enter. And it factors for you. Here are the factors. If you happen to have a decimal here, it may factor out the 2, and then it would have written x plus 1.5. It's because it's using the zeros of this particular expression to help get the factors. If that's the case, it's because of your setting in mode. So here in mode, it is in F2. Down here, remember earlier where we set it to exact, approximate, or auto? Then go in and change it to exact if you want to. Or in our case, we have an auto, it works. But if it's an approximation setting, it will do a decimal there, which it's not supposed to when you're asked to factor. So then you would have to change that. I'm going to escape out of here because I have the 2 factors. You're ready to write it down. Now, for something that's a quadratic, hopefully you could factor that out without a calculator. But now you can try question number 10. I'm going to give you a chance to pause it and I'll write the answer in. So pause the video for now and try 9 and 10. Okay, so I've done both of these problems now. If I wrote down the factors, and as you can see in my screen, I have the factors, nice and neat. Now, is it problematic? Let's say it's not factorable. Of course, then we would have to find some other method to use here. I'm also going to do number 11 right away. An expansion is also an algebraic function. It just means multiply out. So if you asked your calculator to expand, so we're going to do F2 again. Expand is choice number 3. And then it will multiply this whole thing out. So we're going to do, in parentheses, x minus 2, end parenthesis, raised to the 3rd power. Most people, what throws people off is sometimes just the, you forgot a parenthesis somewhere, 2x minus 3 or power or something like that. And then I need another parenthesis at the end to say, okay, I want you to expand all of this within this parenthesis, and hit enter. And it just multiplies the whole thing out for you, so you don't have to do it by hand. And again, as you can see, there's an arrow to the right. That means there's more stuff to look at there. So you go up here and then you can use the arrow to the right and the arrow to the left to see the whole expansion, because it just means there's not enough room to see it all, and that you're not seeing all of the terms, so just be careful. So now you try and expand both number 11 and 12. I'll give you a second to pause the video. Try them, and then I'll put the answers up. Okay, so I've written the answers out. You can also see my screen here. Again, one of the most common mistakes is just like, it may not work because you forgot to set a parentheses or something like that. So that's really where I see the most problems with this. Okay.